much reason. Nobody feel left out is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes to WUB. And all the things that will be happen like I got blue skies. And nothing make people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WUB. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play your role, get where you need to. You can tune in from work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait? It's a time calling. It's a show with no matter even if you're at home. Just call in. WUB. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving.
Morning and welcome to Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes for this morning, January 24th, Friday. Chilly, wettish, at least the Belize today, or some parts of Belize district. But give thanks to wake up with a move with a YaYa from Bakazing Fence, Southside Belize City, 334 Amandala Drive. I'm Sister YaYa, Marin Coleman, sitting in for Brother Nur Muhammad. And for we time until 9 o'clock this morning, on a note lineup, we'll have the weather forecast. Who's the forecaster today? From the National Meteorological Service of Belize. Then we'll have the first news brief for the morning. And then it'll be for we time, community talk time. Stay tuned.
Good morning. Cool and gusty weather conditions prevail. The 24-hour forecast is for mostly cloudy to overcast skies with a few showers, periods of light rain, along with the possibility of isolated thunderstorms over the country today, especially over coastal and southern areas. Today's high temperatures will be 75 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 77 inland and 63 up in the mountains. Low temperatures tonight will be 68 degrees Fahrenheit along coastal areas, 66 inland and 56 up in the hills. The winds will continue from the north and northwest at 10 to 20 knots with occasional higher gusts, but will shift to the north to northeast and become gusty later today. Sea conditions currently are moderate to rough and will become rough later tonight. Currently, there is a small craft caution in effect, and operators of small craft are advised to exercise caution. There will be a low tide at 19 past 11 this morning, followed by a high tide at 5:41 this evening. The moon will set at 1:18 this afternoon and will rise at 3:02 tomorrow morning. The sun will set at 5:43 this evening and will rise at 6:26 tomorrow morning. In the outlook for Saturday is for a few showers or periods of light rain to continue, mainly over southern and coastal areas, decreasing and becoming generally isolated by Saturday night. In the sargassum update, there is a small chance of a few sargassum mats affecting coastal destinations. However, the impacts are expected to remain minimal. And this concludes this morning's report prepared by the National Meteorological Service. For more detailed information, kindly visit our website at nms.gov.bz.
The first private radio released since 1989, Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news. The first private radio in Belize since 1989, Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news. The first private radio in Belize since 1989, Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
The Central Bank of Belize on Thursday unveiled the design of the promised, my prompter is not working. It's not scrolling down. Central Bank of Belize on Thursday unveiled the design of promised new currency notes at the Belize City Civic Center. The $2, $10, and $20 notes feature the portrait of Philip S.W. Golson, while the $5, $20, and $100 notes feature the portrait of George Cale Price. The new notes were designed with similar color schemes to their predecessors, with each note featuring a different color. Central Bank Governor Kareem Michael reminded Belizeans that there will be no change in the value of the Belize dollar after the new notes enter circulation in June or July of this year.
They are designed to enhance security features, making them more resilient against counterfeiting and misuse. As you will hear from the Prime Minister shortly, the new family of notes also allows us to recognize and celebrate our heritage and the rich history of Belize. As I bring these brief remarks to a close, I would like to re-emphasize that when we put the new series of notes into circulation, there will be absolutely no change in its value. Today, $1 is equivalent to 2 Belizean dollars. This will not change. The value of 1 Belize dollar after the new banknotes are put into circulation will remain the same. We will continue to share this message with the people of Belize over the next several weeks and months as we launch the campaign to educate the Belizean public about the new currency notes. Our objective is to ensure that all Belizeans are made aware of the main features of the new notes, including the appearance of each denomination in the series. Through this campaign, we intend to ensure that all Belizeans will see the new currency notes as a symbol of national pride, another reason to celebrate the beauty and rich history of our country. The Central Bank continues to work to safeguard the integrity of Belize's money and ultimately promote financial system stability. We encourage every citizen to embrace this change with pride and confidence, knowing that it reflects our dedication to ensuring a secure financial future for all.
The principal banknote designer at De La Rue International was tasked with designing the new notes with the help of Belizeans. He explained that many Belizean elements were included in the design. He also explained a few of the security features, as all will not be revealed to the general public.
Each denomination pays homage to your nation and acts as a canvas of its own identity. We wanted to create banknotes that Belizeans would not only use but also cherish. On the fronts of the banknotes, you will immediately notice a change to the portraits. The designs now include images of important Belizean leaders, positioned alongside your national flower, the orchid. The orchid also doubles as a security feature, viewable under UV light. The main thematic subject of each denomination is also depicted on the front of each note as a small vignette, prompting the user to turn over and study the larger scope of the thematic scenes on the reverse. Traditional features such as watermarks and see-throughs are constantly positioned across the series, relating to each other through the portraits, and include Mayan numeral graphics to denote denomination. You will also notice connected thematic detail across the series built into the innovative security threads, holographic stripes, and printed features to promote authentication. Tilting the notes will reveal bright colour, changing and dynamic movement of these new features. Colour plays an important role in differentiating each denomination, making it easier to recognise value quickly with large value numerals on the front and reverse. There is also additional tactility on the notes with raised ink bars to provide a little extra assistance to the visually impaired.
Arrested and charged 2 men in connection with the murder of 37-year-old Felix Santiago Martinez and 40-year-old Adelita Amalia Gillett on Monday evening. The duo charge is 29-year-old car dealer Giovanni Rashad Jones and 23-year-old driver Jerwin Ornand Segura. Both suspects reside in Borough Boom, Belize District, where both victims also lived. The couple were found lifeless in a red Chevrolet Equinox parked on the side of the road near mile 31 on the Philip Golson Highway in the Belize District, just a short distance from the Crooked Tree Junction. Police believe the incident stemmed from a car deal gone wrong. Reportedly, the couple had paid $35,000 back in October 2024 towards a vehicle purchase. When Jones failed to deliver the vehicle in over 2 months, the couple requested that the money be returned and hired an attorney. It's suspected the couple was lured to the location expecting their money to be returned. The men were arraigned Thursday morning at the Belize City Magistrate Court and were remanded until March 25. Commissioner of Police Chester Williams Thursday evening heavily chastised the media houses who initially reported the motive may have been robbery and before that it was a murder-suicide. He cautioned the media to confirm their information before disseminating their news and to think about the grieving families in such cases. He then provided details of the incident.
Police conducted investigation right away, and a few minutes later, 2 suspects were detained in a vehicle that was seen parked right behind the vehicle that the 2 deceased persons were in at the particular time or immediately after the shooting or immediately after the persons were found in the vehicle dead. Other evidential material obtained by investigators during the course of investigation led to the arrest of 2 individuals, one of whom is a car dealer and the other is an associate of that car dealer. Those persons were charged yesterday and I believe they were taken before the courts today, where they were remanded to prison. The family will be given an update by the police tomorrow so that they can know exactly what the police have against those 2 individuals. There are several other things that we're doing, like looking at the phones and the analysis of calls and different things that we'll be doing, getting information from the cell phones and other places that we believe we can get things of evidential value. We take this matter very seriously and we have assured the family members that we will do all we can to ensure that we gather the best possible evidence to secure a conviction come trial day. Investigation showed that the 2 persons who were murdered had given, I believe, $35,000 to the car dealer, who is a guy Jones from Barrelboom Village. And I think 2 months had passed, and he had not brought in the vehicle that he had promised to bring for them. They then sought to recover back their money from him. They even went to the extent of going to a lawyer, and the lawyer sent a demand letter to Mr. Jones. It can be reasonably inferred and even substantiated by what the two suspects have said, that they lured these two individuals to that area where the murder actually took place. Now, there are certain things that they are saying that investigators do not believe, and the facts or the circumstances on the ground prove otherwise to what they are saying. So there are several inconsistencies in their account that they gave to the police. Nonetheless, that's a matter for investigators to look at. And again, just to reiterate my point, that we are doing as much as we can to make sure we secure sufficient evidence for a successful prosecution.
The compul says there are no confirmed previous complaints against the accused. Jones was a licensed firearm holder. However, the compul will not disclose if they believe that was the firearm used to commit the crime. Martinez was well known in the basketball community, having played for Galen University and the Belize Elite Basketball League. He worked at Belize Bank Limited as an analyst manager. Gillett was a pharmaceutical manager at Brody's Pharmacy. The couple leaves behind a 10-year-old son. The government of Belize has secured around $50 million in funding from the Green Climate Fund, GFC. The finance will be invested in projects aimed at enhancing sugar production. Earlier this week, Minister of State in the Ministry of Foreign Trade, Dr. Osman Martinez, told the media that the country is looking to invest in new varieties of sugarcane which are more climate resilient.
We have been able to identify climate finance through GCF, which is the Green Climate Fund. The Green Climate Fund headquarters is in Songdo, South Korea. And we managed to secure around $50 million to enhance the sugar production, and to have a direct impact within the farmers. And one of the impacts that it will have is that there will be replanting, and the variety of the cane that will be used, I understand that it will be more in line with climate resilient and climate adaptation methods, but also the cane, the product on its own. And also another component within that project is to look at irrigation and how we can have a more efficient and effective irrigation system, so as to increase productivity or the yield per acre, which is one that has been decreasing as time goes by in the sugar industry. So when you compare, for example, the producers in the north versus the producers in the west, there is a gap in terms of comparing the yield per acre.
Martinez said that the factory has a role to play as well, and that the government will consider ways to help BSI grow.
Then you have the factory, that is the ones who have the supply chain, both nationally and internationally, that needs to produce high quality products. Now, in terms of ASR, BSI, you also have to look at opportunities for them. How can we lead them into areas where maybe they can access funds such as climate finance, or how can they access finance at a low interest rate when globally the interest rate is pretty high? Okay, so government will come and just enable that environment for them so that we can be in a very good position, maybe not for next year, but 2 or 3 years from now. The strategy has to have 3 main components, which is the short-term, medium-term, and long-term plan.
Prime Minister John Briceño has classified as madness the comments of United States President Donald Trump, who has said that Panama has been charging unfair fees for the use of the canal, which sees the transit of about 5% of the world's maritime trade. President Trump has also remarked that China controls the canal and the U.S. will take it back. Over 2.5 decades ago, the U.S. handed over control of the Panama Canal to Panama. On Wednesday p.m., Briceño said the Panama Canal belongs.
That's madness. I don't think that will not happen. I don't see the United States invading Panama to take over the canal. It's good politics. It sounds good for him to say, but I don't think he will go through with that. And our support is 100% with Panama. Panama is a sovereign country, and the canal belongs to Panama.
To the end of the morning's news brief prepared by the National Meteorological Service of Belize forecaster was YaYa. Immediately after the show is the morning stew, and we could get more news, comments, affirmation, community conversation, and then on Crumb Radio at 12:30 there's a full news package. At 3:15 there's a news brief, and at 5:15 there's a full news package. Here at XTV at 6 o'clock there's a full news package. And we're going to take one quick break, come back, and have a wee time.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. The news. Informative, accurate,
Welcome back to Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes for this morning. It's Friday. Yes, yes, yes. It's our time. The phone number is 280-5848. 280-5848. Voila! We have guest 7:30. Morning, talk to it. Morning. Morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Sister Sandra.
I'm calling in connection with, well, I saw that you put two items I heard, or rather two. First of all, YaYa and listeners, Belize and Singapore were in the same situation or almost identical at the time that the struggle for independence was taking place. Look where Singapore is today. Singapore has a $500 billion GDP. It houses in an island, a city-state, not a nation-state, 5 million people. When the United Kingdom issued its list of universities that it will accept, for which it will accept diplomas to allow immigration into the United Kingdom to work, Singapore's universities were among the 50. Among the 50, you know. Singapore, as we speak, has started negotiations with Malaysia to assist in the building of an economic zone because thousands of Malaysians come to work in Singapore. But it's becoming difficult dealing with that. So they are proposing building an economic zone in Malaysia in order to allow Malaysians to be able to work there, and it will be funded by Singapore. A little island state was able to do what we, with 22,000 plus square miles at our disposal, have been able to do. An extremely wealthy land. We have everything. Sea, forest, we haven't been able to do. Why? Well, I will just put it very simply. Go to the biblical source. Where there is no vision, a people shall perish. Singaporean leaders took the bull by the horn, confronted what they wanted and what they needed to do to get what they wanted, and at the top of the list was incorruptibility. At the top of the list. Agreed they would wear white, and the day they broke their covenant with their people, that would stop. We made no such covenant. Our leaders displayed constantly a lack of vision, carelessness. They're bright men. I have to say that because there's only one lady there. I think to one or the other side. Bright, but brightness does not equate vision and wisdom and moral rectitude. That doesn't necessarily go together. Two examples from the news today. I don't know if it came yesterday. One, let's take Dr. What's his name is Martinez on the sugar situation. Yesterday and the day before, I think it was that Mose and I were discussing this problem of climate. The implications if Mr. Trump and his cohorts had gone towards their grand dream of dismantling Greenland and letting it melt away, what that will be for the planet. And I advocated that if nobody else steps up to the front to take a position on this matter and to hammer Belize ought to, because we will suffer. Lo and behold, in the report on the sugar yields this year, BSI are reporting the yields will be much lower than last year because of the rain. The rains have done two things. One, the increased rain is reducing the sucrose in the cane plant. The cane is a grass, reducing the sucrose content. It's diluting it. It's like you put on 2 teaspoons of sugar into a cup of water and you tell you add another cup of water. Well, evidently, it's not going to be as sweet as it was when you had 1 cup of water. Well, that is what happens with the sucrose when the rate increases. It reduces the sucrose, it dilutes it. The next thing is the mud. No, YaYa. Borrowing or begging or whatever $50 million to put in place irrigation, yes, you need that. Yes, you need fertilization, but the problem is not there. That's not going to solve the problem of the mud and the rain and all that. That's not going to solve that problem. We need to stabilize the climate. As tremendous and humongous as that may seem to be the problem, that is where the problem is. That is where the problem is. Not fertilizing and getting resistant varieties. So which variety that will be able to cope with the kind of rain that will rain down on this planet, including Belize, if Greenland is dismantled, man? So when are we going to take a leadership role? We are small, but we can chatter and make noise, and you have bright people who are willing to help you to put your case forward. Not that, they're not $50 million, and okay, you give us $700 billion to buy fertilizer and irrigation. That will solve the problem of rain and the mud and everything that accompanies that. The dampness that leaves behind YaYa. When the north floods, man, it takes up time for the water to go down. You know how much mold and fungus that releases into your environment? That's the first objection I have. The first observation, lack of vision, Papa, lack of vision. The second one is Panama. Listen, Belize, before we talk about anything else in Panama, Belize has a debt to Panama. My father's generation ate and were able to provide in the middle of the war because of Panama. And when the lottery, when the government now take over, began as Panama lottery in this country. Those people who went to work brought back to Belize. The next time Panama would play an important role in this country was our independence. When we never know where to turn and who to get to support us, Panama stepped forward in the name of Torrijos, their leader, stepped forward and would mobilize Latin America. Man, gratitude, the human brain is structured for gratitude. There's a part of the brain where when humans practice gratitude, it produces good chemical structuring in the brain. But we are a very ungrateful lot. So now the Prime Minister argued, yes, Mr. Trump said that, but you pay no attention to Mr. Trump. You know where I ended up. Panama belongs to Panama. But in other words, the Prime Minister is being extremely dangerously dismissive of Mr. Trump. Dangerously dismissive. He evidently doesn't understand European colonization, nor understand the syndrome that was created between London and Washington and the 13th. He evidently doesn't understand that. Panama is a serious problem, YaYa. Serious problem, listeners, for all of us in the Caribbean and Latin America. If nobody else, no matter to us. Our people died in Panama. When Mr. Trump tells you 35,000 white Americans died, that is a lie outright. The people who died in Panama were between 5 to 10,000, and the majority were black West Indians. With about 300, maybe up to 500 whites died. No 35,000 white Americans died in Panama. Let's start there. Let's go back back a little bit in time. How did Panama come into? There was no Panama before, YaYa. Panama was a part of Colombia, religion. And the Americans went to the Colombians and wanted them to get the Colombians resisted. And America being America, must have its own way, decided, well, okay, we go help a part of Colombia secede from Colombia. That's what created Panama, a secession from Colombia. A state form on the written, whatever word you want to use, on the written, by, guaranteed by the United States of America. That's how that came into being. And having created the new state, they then signed a treaty with that new state to deal with the Panama Canal. This is all in history, man. This is not a simple history. This is a serious history. So don't dismiss it, Mr. Prime Minister. Don't dismiss Panama. Get into CARICOM and CCAN. All of the places where we become the Association of African, Pacific and Caribbean States. Anywhere in the Commonwealth, you take the matter of Panama on behalf of the people of the beach and Panama to these venues, man. You have established clout in these venues, but use it now for its proper purpose. We need Panama to start with. Yes, you're correct. Mr. Trump is not giving the facts about the tariffs. The tariffs are calculated. Panama's problem has to do because the canal itself is fed from a lake up in the mountains. But because of climate change, that's not the way it's supposed to work. So they have had to manage the canal now, letting in a few ships, letting them out, because the water level is there. That's what started this whole problem. And the Chinese don't own the Panama Canal. But we can't just sit down and let these people make these statements about us and our people, man. You get out there and correct it and stand up. For one, stand up. And do what Singapore did. Singapore built that economy with incorruptibility at the top of the list. We don't have such a commitment on the part of our leaders, incorruptibility. We don't have that. Look at what Singapore has more city-state, not even a nation-state. Look at what they have achieved, Mr. Prime Minister and ministers who accompany you. Look at what and the rest of the policy. The whole pack of them, the two of them, the three parties get a minor. This is what can be achieved when you get serious. When you take the biblical instruction where there is no vision and people shall perish. And anytime people say some nonsense, put up your hand and say, Mr. So-and-so, that is wrong. Do not allow this false information to be spread or to hang in the air and not stop. Because it remains there, not stop. So that's my reason for calling. Irritate, you start off your day, you're happy, hear nonsense, right away your pressure gone up. And people say to me, why are you worked up? Well, I get it worked up. Because unless I'm in the ground where it can't bother me anymore, I am going to have to live through the heat and the mess and the confusion and the turning of our people to criminal methods of earning a living when the national economy can't deliver them with a survival income. That's why I'm concerned, and I think we should all be concerned. Everybody, please, stand up and speak up on Panama. Don't stand up and speak up on the climate problem. Please, and get to get climate stabilized. No melting of greenland. We don't want big greenland melt. We don't want time to come melt. That is not a solution. That's not a solution to those billionaires and millionaires and aspiring millionaires. That's not a solution for them. That's what the rest of us to do is spend out of that and devastation. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sister Kowe. For everybody who they listen, watch upon TV, live stream on YouTube, XTV Belize or XTV Facebook page. I hope to really take one time for digest what Sister Sandra Curry just shared. And we have to keep saying that the more knowledge we have as a people, it puts we in a stronger position for hold for ourselves and people in a political leadership in particular accountable. I know a bunch of we in a survival, just to go along, but make sure you could keep your head above water. But we really have to take time for expand our knowledge base and want to participate in a conversation, make it be because with the study or with the listen or the learn, make it be meaningful because only the people want to save the people. I mean, look up how we there as a nation. And Sister Coleman make the strong point looking at Singapore because the political leaders had a vision and that big. Once we have corruption, we as a people want to stay so for the majority of we. And what we give us about that? We're going to vote the same set of people again this year. Good morning, thanks for calling WB. Morning. Morning. Another hear you.
Good morning.
Morning. You're on the air, talk.
You're on break?
No, you're on the air, go ahead.
Who is this?
You're on WB, you've called the morning talk show.
Yes,
You're on the air.
Who are you? I didn't get it right.
My name is YaYa Marin Coleman.
YaYa. What's going on? Good morning, good morning. Well, I thought you want to know that because, you know, you got some people that are more fighting than them and stuff, right?
I hear you, but I mean, you don't regular to WB. They're not like we got a lot of females who host WB.
Right, there's something wrong with 2 ears there.
Something wrong with your 2 ears, no? Happy New Year.
Right back around. Think they put in one because, oh, you come on to that pain and you painful. Anyway, good morning, good morning.
Morning, Happy New Year.
Watching the news, getting stressed out. Yeah, I was watching the news yesterday. And I feel good that I think that both Wilson and George French deserve their face for the bill. I'm not going into which one or all of that. I like that. But I don't want them for all the bill. So I have no problem with the bill being changed. But I don't want them to be duplicated on a bill. So don't we have a great girl for that we could put on one and a great somebody from maybe Colorado on one and a 6 bills we got? We have to find it some way. Don't get too family city. I have no problem with that. But I really and truly I don't think I want to count that twice on my money.
And you don't have no problem.
My money. I don't think it should be that only 2 people deserving of it.
And
are we going to put it this way there while I eventually but I will tell you why I would like it to be done from today. Because I know when politics gets involved in it, I don't want it one side either. I don't want it one party either. If the money is going to be on you believe that, and listen to me, don't get me wrong. We have we have Super G. This is culture. You're talking about culture, belief and culture. We have Ramsey. Ramsey will write the news.
1 minute, brother. 1 minute, brother. 1 minute. I got a big issue with women not being represented, you know.
Well, you listen to me. Yeah, you have an issue with that?
But I don't man near you to call.
I'm speaking with a 6-foot but so listen to me. There are women who I believe should be on the bill too. Yes, let's get to that. Let's say, don't we have a person from each district that the district could come together and say, well, we think this person could be on the bill. I mean, I don't want to show earlier in this. I believe that we could change the people on the bill. I have faith that it will work. I just don't want to see the same person on 3 of my bills.
I have one question, brother. I hear when I say that in the news that Belizeans were consulted, but I want to know how were Belizeans consulted? Any Belizean could call in and make I know.
So, the way the time they are to that, because at no day, as a matter of fact, I didn't never know we did it far. The last time I heard, I thought this was a thought, not knowing that if they were not given land and this full steam ahead now, but we would all be happy, YaYa. Because I remember one day, ever the anyway, and somebody asked me about this. And to tell me, we don't have the money. What? And then when I said this, when did this happen? So I do agree, YaYa. I don't think we had enough consultation. And like I say, I have no problem with changing the money from the Queen. I have no problem with that. My worry is that I don't think that I want them to be repeated on a bill. So,
I hear you say at the beginning that you know I talk about the denomination. Well, I did tell you right now, under this administration, me personally, these are my feelings. I feel that it showed the anti-blackness of this administration. For Philip Golson faced upon the lesser denomination and George Price faced upon the higher denomination. This set just seemed determined to act like George Price as some kind of great person.
YaYa. This is the party which came in and did the cell was rigged and don't turn it into blue. Did you never expect that? Well, my God. Oh my God, YaYa. No, like I say, I have no issue that we're going to change the money. I have no issue who is on which bill, who get it signed, who get it paid. You know what I mean? I do believe John deserves the $100 bill. You know what? He put in the work.
Brother.
That gives the father
You know what happened?
That's what it is. I don't think he deserves
Brother, listen to me.
Kudos to that.
Brother, listen to me.
I just don't want to see God on 3 of my bills.
Brother, listen to me. The truth of who George Price is has never been told.
Well, I know
All right then. So when they tell the truth about her, they're not going to make that decision.
Of my bills. I don't want it to be repeated.
I hear you.
Want to tell you on one of somebody else, that's it. Because when it confused, if I got 3 George Price by my bill, I think I got $300 bill. I don't want it. I don't think nobody wants it.
I hear you, and I think your position is a good, common sense position. What part we disagree is, because we not tell the truth of who George Price was, then we cannot say that he deserves all the accolades way to get.
Yeah. Until you write the book of the truth of who George Price was, I won't know because I only will know what they put to me. You understand me? So until somebody has the tenacity, the testicle of fortitude to go and rewrite that, then I step back and say, oh, my God, I didn't know that. That's different, man.
You see that now?
I to tell you, for what it is right at the minute, I do believe we need a female on the bill. Yes, I do. I do believe we need I do not want, well, maybe the governor general right now could be on me. Let's put it so.
You say you're the complaint that we never had people participation. I think we need active, meaningful people participation. Then alone to make decision and just jam and down for we throat and what we do.
I don't want it solo. The rest of the decision, I don't want it to be made like this. I don't want it to just want something from my throat and tell me I have to take it. You know, I really actually will have to deal with this thing for the rest of my living life.
I want to know how Belizeans participated. I need somebody for calling. I have to go to a break in like 3 minutes. I need to find out what was the process of Belizeans participating in the design of their new currencies. I need to know.
I really believe that they had it in this contract.
But that's what I said?
To put that right on the money. That 24th day the Queen they want. They have a big fund celebrating. Oh, they are getting happy for the money. Come on, YaYa.
You say they put that big statue in a battlefield park?
Yes. Listen to me. I am surprised that we didn't choose to put ourselves.
No.
How great of him not to choose to put the cell.
Brother, listen. They mean make Judge Price. They want make Judge Price ground guard. You see that big statue and put in a battlefield park. Any people participation gone? You see how they turn a house into learning center? Any active people participation agree for spend for we taxpayers money for that?
No, YaYa. But like I'm telling you, YaYa, until you.
That don't mean that we. That don't mean that we.
I'm not going to say the story, YaYa. Until you tell us the next time, because nobody's going to tell us the next time. We have to go with the time where we have, YaYa. Until somebody is brave enough to come and challenge the status quo. I think nobody. Well, I was wrong, so I can't tell you I mean, I remember when he gave rule that when I was old enough, but I can't tell you, and I can't take away or get into an argument about something that I don't know.
Listen, brother, there's a sister. Her name, black woman, working class. Her name was Elfrida Reyes. And there's an interview where she gave. This is what now she that was she the talking of a she voice to tell you for she experience with Judge Price. Crime Rage has played it. I will ask them to play it again. Now this is a horse will come from river bottom. No horse, no fish will come from river bottom. And you hear other people say it, then just not say it publicly what that experience with that man. And when you hear somebody say something over and over, we don't talk bad about nobody. We will tell the truth whether they're dead or alive. We tell the truth about somebody. But if you left it to this state, you don't have the man do nothing bad.
YaYa, listen to me. And I am 1,000% behind you and agree with you. But until somebody can't tell me otherwise, I don't believe what I
listen to me. Send me a phone number. I'm going to send you the audio, make you hear it yourself. I have to go, but...
One audio wouldn't change my
No. If you, as an open-minded person, which I hope you are, you just listen to new information. That's all you do.
Well,
I didn't ask you to make one decision. I just said listen to new information.
Unless you could really prove to me that that price was like PDD or RT.
Oh, you drink the Judge Price Kool-Aid. You drink the Judge Price Kool-Aid. I never realized that I deal with. I get it now. But him I'm sure. I just never knew I drink the Judge Price Kool-Aid. I think I'm going to talk to an open-minded, rational person.
I tell you, I can't get into a fight, YaYa. For something that I know nothing of.
Oh, okay, so you know study history.
YaYa, I am a fighter just like you. And of course, you should know that if I knew this, I would be right there with you, fighting about it. I don't know.
All right. I didn't try for training, I know that's all, but I have to go. But thanks for listening.
Yeah, but we are doing like that. But yeah, until somebody come up, no, it doesn't work that way. A lot of people might not like that right from YaYa. I was telling something, right? Yesterday I heard something, somebody said, that we might not like R. Kelly. We really might not like his decisions and the things that he did. But please don't murder his talent. Don't put that and say, oh, no, I got nothing about you.
Brother, well, for me,
he was good.
I hear you.
And let's go deal with what we are dealing with what we are dealing.
So make I ask you this. Make I ask you this and I'm going. If R. Kelly may violate one of your youth then, if R. Kelly may violate one of your youth then, you think you may still feel the same way? If R. Kelly may violate one of your youth, you think that may still be your position? Anyways, again, with a past break time, we are reason more. All right then. I hear you, brother. I hear you. We don't agree, but one love. Thanks for the call. No, had no clue that they were going. Anyways, it's a little bit past 7:30. We're going to 2 cents camp brought to us by Fort Point Security, and after that we have one regional guest by Zoom.
You're watching WB, and this is XTV. Once a big respect to 4 Point Security and Euphrates Auto Rental with sponsors. Big up on yourself. I sort of wonder, and they think, election they come up and everybody they talk about it. Make I try go there and find out the people 2 cents how they really feel about this upcoming election. Come up. How you feel?
I feel good.
All right. Why?
Well, I feel good because I still have my job.
Don't say.
Same way, family. Feel good.
You love where though? Don't say.
I believe Zans need to stop make politicians take with a clown. None of us should have go vote so that everybody get a message.
Now you're 2 cents.
Yeah, that they work for we. They not enough.
Election they come up. Whee! Give me a 2 cents man the vibes.
Election, main time will prevail. I burn red, I dead blue. I'm so sorry. Time will prevail. It's 2025, election time.
All right, so that the people vibes on the upcoming election, all right? And the people in 2 cents. You're watching WB, XTV, big respect to 4 Point Security and Euphrates Auto Rental, all right?
Friday, January 24th, 2025. I'm still hearing the theme song. I'm going to put all calls on hold right now. I'm still hearing the theme song playing. Thanks. We'll put all calls on hold because we have our Zoom guest. I'm very much excited about the Zoom guest. He's originally from Trinidad and Tobago. And thanks to a Sunday Review co-host, Revolutionary Brother Akamatota, I was introduced to Brother Kasala Kamara. Greetings and good morning, brother.
Good morning, all the best. And I would like to first thank you all for inviting me to be part of this very important session, which has great historical significance.
Respect. What I asked him to share about his area of specialization is foreign direct investment. And this tend to be one complex conversation, yet everyday people need to understand because it's for we interest, for we quality of life, for we unborn children quality of life. So we need to understand it. Brother Kasala, can you, just to get the conversation started, tell me a little bit about yourself. How you become interested in a direct financial investment?
I have been for years an activist in the struggle for liberation in Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean. And as a result of my involvement with the National Joint Action Committee in the 1970s and the 1980s, I became an economist because I was the party's shadow minister of economic development and planning. And one of the most important issues you would know if you study economics, not only in the Caribbean, but throughout the world, is that foreign direct investment is one of the most important issues that the leadership and the people of any country needs to understand because of the dominant role that they play within the international capitalist economy. As a result of that, when I returned to university, I did a research paper on foreign direct investment in Trinidad and Tobago. And I was able to share quite a lot I studied with the population at large because I took the research paper and published a book, which was launched and circulated throughout Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay, fair enough. We had a caller call this morning. So on the table right now, we have racial capitalism, we have foreign direct investment, and we have economies, relevance to the people in a particular country and globally. And one of the callers that called in this morning stated that Belize and my mind just gone blank. What are the country next to Guyana? Suriname. No, Suriname. Singapore, I think she said. Were in a similar situation, but the leader of Singapore had a vision, and one of their value system was you can't be corrupt, which is very different from Belize and the difference of where Singapore is now compared to Belize. So even though we may know, you share with us about direct foreign investment, racial capitalism, economies of scale, what role does the character of leaders and leaders' lack of vision has to do with the quality of life of a people and a nation?
In the final analysis, we must pay attention to the quality of the leadership. Quite a number of our leaders have been socialized in the capitalist worldview. I would just want to share that quickly with the audience. Capitalism is an economic system that is based on the minimization of costs, the maximization of profits, and the accumulation of capital. But capitalism is not a static system. It is creative. And even as we speak this morning, what is facing Belize today represents a new direction of the world capitalist order, which is in deep crisis, both at the core and in other parts of the world. Because why I'm saying that is because the bond issue that Belize has signed up to, the super bond, okay?
No, it's the Belize Blue Bond.
Introduced with Seychelles. And that is the first two countries that are now being used as what I will call an experiment in order to achieve the goals of the capitalist order, which is in profound crisis. And if we look at some of the details, we would recognize that the government of Belize since Said Musa have been involved in the restructuring of the bond debt. And with each restructuring, Belize is getting deeper and deeper into debt, to the extent that the IMF in a working paper has stated that the debt is unsustainable. It is true that foreign direct investment is still important in the context of 2025. What we have to recognize is that capitalism has introduced now another approach in terms of achieving its objectives. And it is interesting to recognize that the focus is on the environment. And the focus on the environment is not only on the forests, but very importantly on the marine resources of Belize. Because economists that are in the know will tell you that currently the world order is paying particular attention of the fish as well as the mineral resources that are to be found below the ocean.
Fair enough. And this is some Belizeans would say, why are we still talking about the blue bond? Because the horse don't know to the stable, then don't sign it. But it's important for us to understand what's happening because it has a direct impact on our quality of life. So some of the things that stand out when it comes to racial capitalism, I've never known capitalism working in any situation because capitalism is usually based on the exploitation of labor and the environment suffer. So make we get this clear right now. Is there any capitalism where good as far as you know?
Well, what we need to recognize is that we must not dream. What we need to understand is that when capitalism is faced with a threat, it is prepared to make adjustments. So when we had the Great Depression in the world during the period of the 1930s, the US government made the adjustment because the working masses of the US started to rise up at a time when the Russian Revolution was making great strides in terms of economic development. So what they did, they made a compromise and they came up with a New Deal in which the government, following what they say is Keynesian economics, where you use the state in order to boost the economy and therefore to increase employment, introduces a number of measures, including employment, education, health, in order to appease the masses. In other words, the world capitalist economy made that adjustment because more and more of the working masses were tending towards the socialist development that was taking place in Russia at the time. So it has nothing to do with any good heart or any humanitarian concern. It has to do with the question of dealing with the threat to the capitalist order at the time.
Okay, so what has happened from then until now? Because it has shifted again. Where before it wasn't that CEOs made back one bag of people money and then inflation becomes cyclical and then people could no longer work to earn to own a decent home, or maybe take one vacation, send their children to school if that's what they want, that they have health care. It has changed now where the rich to get richer and the poor to get poorer. What happened? How is that what it was designed to be? Talk to me about that. What happened?
What we need to pay attention to, we must do our homework in terms of the development of capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
We need to understand that after World War II,
mm-hmm.
the various economies of Europe were devastated. And the country that was rising at the time was the United States of America.
Mm-hmm.
And that economy enjoyed significant rates of growth. And the people enjoyed an improvement in their standard of living that was superior to the rest of the world. That is a fact.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result of that development, the United States of America emerged as the most powerful economy on the face of the earth. That's a fact. And that is why quite a number of countries in the world gravitated towards the US as the example of an economy which was growing. It was considered to be the most powerful country and the most prosperous country. However, we need to also recognize that capitalism is always faced with boom and bust. And in 2008, a very significant development took place which put the capitalist economy in a state of deep crisis. So it had to bounce back. And that is why they went back to the, let's say, they met in order to discuss what had to be done to prevent that development emerging into a total collapse. So the result of it is that in the case of the United States of America, they more or less abandoned the whole question of manufacturing, and the question of financialization became the policy that they pursued. And that financialization policy has continued so that places like Wall Street became more important. The question of the liberalization of the financial markets became critical, and the whole question of acquiring as much financial assets as possible became of critical importance. But that was being done at the expense of manufacturing. And that is where China came in, and China took up the slack. And today China is the leading manufacturing economy on the face of the earth. What is interesting is that a number of capitalists from the US went to China, because if you study capitalism, capitalism always travels to the greenest of pastures, always. So quite a large number of capitalists went into China, but the Chinese government was well organized and used many of these transnational corporations in order for the Chinese people to learn a lot of the technology that was developed by the US transnational corporation. And China today has bounced back and is today the leading economy in terms of manufacturing. And today, the electric car, for example, is the best electric car you can get and the cheapest you can get it from China. So the point I'm making is that we need to understand the cycle of change where capitalism is concerned. And today, they have now targeted in a very serious way those countries that they will consider to be in their backyard to be able to benefit from the resources, both land and marine.
Excellent. I don't want to start for another topic because we have to go to a break. But we haven't got time for reason, brother. I like that you're a good storyteller and that you keep the conversation at a level where we could relate and understand where to say. Because I know every time we get moments like this, and I'm really thankful for the connection we would make. Trust me, I will have him for a Sunday review, so we got a whole hour and a half of stretch talking. We're going to take one quick break. Not go nowhere, Brother Kasala. We'll be right back. welcome back to Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes Talk Show. Sister YaYa calls up on hold right now. Open up the lines directly. We're on the line with our Zoom guest, Brother Kasala Kamara, brother from Trinidad and Tobago, and he's an economist. You're a good storyteller, brother. So there's a number of things that you mentioned in the first half where I just want backtrack pan. You talked about financialization. What is financialization? Brother Gan, Alexi? All right, we're waiting. I don't know if we lost Brother Kasala or what happened. I saw a glimpse of him just now on the screen, and now I don't see him. It's a little bit about 9 minutes after 8 Central Standard Time, Belize time. We're having a conversation with Brother Kasala Kamara. He's an economist and with a top about direct foreign investment. We know in Belize, the budget, the national budget will be, I think in a March, it usually is. And then YUB Educational Foundation, 29 years in March. And Belize Federation of Fishers, the umbrella organization that look after the interests of fishers in Belize. We have, for the whole year 2025, one Belize Blue Bond Awareness Campaign, because the state failed to have one meaningful campaign to share with Belizeans, learn from Belizeans what they were positioned upon the Belize Blue Bond. All right, Brother Kasala, you're back. All right, we're there, brother. We're there. Here I see the back, but another seal. There you go. Give thanks. You're back. So in the first part of the conversation, you mentioned a word, financialization. What is financialization?
Financialization is simply an approach to capitalism in which the focus is on accumulating wealth using various financial instruments.
Wait.
And I would just want to say that in the context of financialization, the stock market with its various stocks and shares become critical importance. Because what the capitalists do, they purchase stocks and shares. And when those stocks and shares rise on the stock market, they enjoy capital gains. And that allows them to get quite a lot of capital in order to acquire other financial assets. That is just one example.
Well, I value that example because I could understand that. I could understand what you just don't say. I will ask you again to say that one more time for me. Say what the financialization again. And the reason why Belizeans need to understand what the financialization, because they have one direct link with the Belize Blue Bond. So tell me one more time, because we learn by repetition, Brother Kasala. Repeat it again, what the financialization. Did you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
All right. So tell us what financialization is again.
Let me explain. What happens with financialization? Are we talking about a Belizean stock market?
No, I'm talking, I just wanted you to tell us what financialization is again, as it relates especially to the Belize Blue Bond. Because that's what happened with the Belize Blue Bond.
Oh, okay, I got you. In the case of the Belize Blue Bond, what happened is that the government got engaged in acquiring funds through the bond. And a bond is a financial instrument. And when you get into that relationship, what is important are, number one, the amount of funding that you receive. Number two, the length of time for repayment. Number three, the interest that you have to pay and the conditions that go with the repayment of that debt. In the particular case of Belize, as a result of the unsustainability of the debt, which has been confirmed by the IMF, there is the possibility that the Belizean government will default and a penalty of US 100 million is going to be imposed on the people of Belize. The question arises, what are the implications of such a default? What we need to know is that there are aspects of the agreement between the Belizean government and the bondholders which have been kept confidential. And what tends to happen in that situation is that there are a number of assets, and here we come to the ocean, which have tremendous value in terms of the world economy today. And there is the possibility that the Belizean government has already sold out the ocean resources of Belize so that the capitalists could enjoy access not only to the fisheries but to the mineral wealth below the ocean. But I cannot be sure about that, but I'm saying that is a possibility because even though they are involved in financialization, they are always concerned with the acquisition of resources for the short, medium, and long term of the capitalist order.
Let me ask you this one question before I open the phone lines. What does paying the debt in US currency has to do with the unsustainability of the debt and the likelihood that Belize will go into default and will remain in this permanent debt trap?
Okay, let us address the of the debt. The debt is payable in what is called hard currency, and in this case, it is US dollars, not euro. Let's make that very clear. Secondly, when a country has to pay debt, it has to be earning US dollars. When we look at the Belizean economy, what I see is tourism, I see agriculture, I do not see in the Belizean economy any natural gas, any bauxite and these things. In other words, those commodities that would normally earn large quantities of US dollars. So the unsustainability has to do with the debt burden in US dollars and the weak foreign exchange earning capacity of the Belizean economy as a direct consequence of those commodities which exports. Only this week I saw in the Trinidad and Tobago newspapers where Belize is making an attempt to sell sugar to countries in the Caribbean. To what extent that could make a big difference? That I can say cannot be compared to like a Guyana, which today has oil and which, according to the 2024 economic results, earned as nearly as 1 billion US dollars for its gold exports. So the point I make is the Belizean economy, while it may have potential great foreign earning capacity, that would lie more in the resources to the ocean. And it is my view that they have gone at that early in the game so that on a long-term basis, they would be in control of that instead of the people of Belize. The other important issue has to do, they extend the time of repayment, or how they may even shorten the time of repayment, so that the blue bond at one time was called 2038, and then I think the most recent it is called 2034, meaning that the repayment period was reduced by 4 years, making it even more difficult for Belize to deal with that debt. We need to recognize that at the end of the day, the imperialist powers, who we know as the colonial powers, continue with their same policies. What you have simply may be a change in strategies and tactics. Their intention remains dominance, permanent dominance.
Respect. We don't have a lot of time left for calls. We have 10 minutes. 2805848 if you don't want to get in on this conversation. 2805848. In the meantime, Brother Kasala, how does this permanent debt trap, because it's unsustainable, impact the lives of people in countries like, on paper, Guyana got a bag of money, but the majority of Guyanese, they suffer and got hard life. So how they loan the impact the lives of the people?
What we need to always remember is that all of what we are discussing is taking place within a capitalist order, which has not changed. So even though there are times in which a country will enjoy what we call an economic boom, as Trinidad and Tobago enjoyed during the 70s, at the end of the day, the inequality issue remains paramount. The main beneficiaries of any boom will be those people at the top. And even though there is an increase to the masses, it is an increase in the crumbs. That is what we need to understand. But we need to understand that when you have a boom, an oil boom or gas boom that Trinidad and Tobago has, people are able to enjoy an improvement in their material standard of living. So some people are able, for the first time, to own what we call in Trinidad a roll-off vehicle. They may be able to now afford a holiday to their family in the US or Canada or what have you. They may be able to enjoy now a better house in terms of living, even be able to get involved in business as a micro entrepreneur or as a small entrepreneur or as a medium-sized entrepreneur. But at the end of the day, when you look at how the spoils have been distributed, that small continues to remain dominant, and when the recession comes, they are positive of whatever assets the people at the lower level enjoyed as a result of that boom.
Brother, what we the people for do? Just accept that this is our Latina life? What we for doing this? It gone off of the screen. Okay, I hope Brother Casala Camara. He's an economist from the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. I hope we could get him back. We have 6 minutes left. We have one call. Caller, go ahead.
So, yes, so that they can enjoy a certain level of unity. And that would require a certain type of leadership. We know
defaulting on the blue bond.
One second, Sister Sandra. Brother Casala. One moment, Brother Casala. One moment, Brother Casala.
Yes.
We have a caller on the line. You may not be able to hear the caller, but we have a caller on the line. And the question was, Sister Sandra, I'll ask him what you said, but I didn't hear him say that that was reported. But she was asking...
No, I'm not saying it, but I would like to know was this reported and where and when?
Okay, I didn't hear him say that it was reported. She was asking when and where was it reported that Belize made default on the blue loan, and I was saying to her, I didn't hear you say that. So clarity. Did you say that it was reported that...
No, I never said he said that,
I got
I'm
that
asking if it was reported and when and where.
Okay, she's asking if that was reported and when and where.
And it states it is possible that they made default and that the present government will be trying in its negotiations with the creditors to prevent that from happening. But the threat looms.
Okay, I didn't hear the first part of what you said, Brother Casala. Did you read that somewhere?
Yes.
Where? When?
In other words, there is a payment due in August. Okay?
Right, but what the...
And if that is not honored, the penalty is US $100 million.
Okay, yes, I hear you. What the caller is asking is, when and where did you get that information from?
What? No, the imminent defaulting. That's my curiosity. The imminent
from Brother Akomutota.
Like an imminent defaulting.
Okay, I'll try again. Bear with me. The caller is saying it sounds like an imminent default. You hear that, Brother Casala?
Yes, I'm hearing that.
Okay. So since it sounds like an imminent default, Sister Sandra, you're asking when and where that was reported?
Yes, that is my curiosity.
Okay, so she's curious about when and where was it reported?
The imminent default reported.
When and where was that imminent default reported is her question.
Okay, let me...
Can you hear him, Sister Sandra?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, no problem. I'll just tell you that, no problem. I think he's looking at something to cite his source. While he's doing that, Sister Sandra, did you have another...
The second point is that an observation. When the blue bond was entered into, if you check the records at Prem, I was the only person objecting at the time it started.
Okay.
One second, Sister Sandra.
The reference is...
Say that again, Brother Casala.
This is the reference.
Yes.
The name of the online piece is Where Did the Super Bond Come From?
Where did the super bond come from? What journal?
The blue bond came from the super bond.
It says, where did the super bond come from?
The super bond came
from... No, Sister Sandra. No, Sister Sandra. He's telling us, he's citing the source where he got the information from. Go ahead, Brother Casala.
by, hold on, by Benjamin Flowers.
By Benjamin Flowers. That's a Belizean reporter from the Reporter newspaper?
That is what I have on my phone.
Okay, okay. All right, that's my local newspaper in Belize? Brother Casala?
And it is, yes, I said I received that from Brother Akomutota.
Okay. He's saying, I think Benjamin Flowers is a local reporter, Sandra Kawi?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, I'm not sure. I could be wrong with the name, but he's saying, where did the super bond come from? By Benjamin Flowers is the source that he's citing for that imminent default.
All right. And when was that written?
When was that written, Brother Casala? Do you have a date and when that was written? All right, while he's looking for the date, Sister Sandra, go ahead with your comment. We're almost...
So at that time,
okay, I can always send that to you after.
All
it's not a
the
problem.
other penalties and clauses and conditions, but nobody seemed to want to pay attention to the conditions. It is only now that I hear a war being created, and a war should have been created from then, but I suppose it's never too late. Now the issue is this, YaYa.
Hello.
I don't know whether Pascal can confirm whether any other sovereign debt has been entered into with a mortgage condition of the land of those people. That's precisely part of the problem of sovereign debt.
Okay, so the question...
When we entered into the blue bond, it was a mortgage undertaking, and our seabed was the mortgage.
All right, Sister Sandra, one sec. Let me ask him this question, and then we'll have to go to break. Brother Casala, the question is, if you know any other sovereign country where mortgage their natural resources for debt?
No.
No. What's the question, Sister Sandra?
Prior to the blue bond. Prior to the blue bond.
That has been the new trend.
1 second, Sister Sandra. He's responding. Go ahead, what are you saying, Brother Casala?
I'm saying that is the new trend.
Oh, okay. Yes, Sister Sandra. He's saying, which is what she's saying as well. He's saying that's the new trend.
Exactly. That was the horror.
And that's why he said the blue bond.
Is that in the 1980s, a number of developing countries were indebted
wait, 1 sec, Sister Sandra. 1 sec, Brother Casala. 1 sec, because I don't think he's hearing you. So you're both talking at the same time. 1 sec, Brother Casala. Finish your comment, Sister Sandra, and then I'll let him speak, and then we'll have to finish the segment.
Quickly, I said that the United States expanded its continental shelf recently as a consequence of redrawing lines. Now, I see what happened in Belize as an expansion of territorial on seabed expansion for the U.S. because the loan has come out of the United States. Yes, Bangladesh, we found that has gone defunct and all of that, but the people who organize it is an American structure. So if we default on what is technically a mortgage loan, then what happens to that land? Is it that if we can't pay the penalty, then the seabed will be converted, the ownership will be converted?
That's what I understand.
And we don't know where the seabed is, whether it's the territorial sea or the economic zone.
Okay, thanks, Sister Sandra. Okay, I'll ask this question and then we'll have to end this segment, Brother Casala. So the question that her comment was that the U.S. has expanded their continental seabed, I think she said. So her question is, if Belize default and is not able to pay that penalty, because it's really the United States International Development Finance Corporation who secured insurance for the bondholders to buy into the blue bond. So if Belize defaults, what does that mean for our natural resources? What does that mean?
What people have to understand is the issue of continuity and the imperialist order. Nothing has changed. What they do, they adjust the strategies and the tactics. So all of the resources in what the US considers to be its backyard, which they consider to be useful to their sustainability, which they consider to be of use to their capitalists, they will try to acquire in a very sophisticated way and making people in Belize believe that they are in fact conserving the environment.
Wow. Ay, ay, ay. Brother Kasala, I have to go to break, but thank you tremendously for the time, energy, research, the connection. We'll definitely have you back as guests. Well, whenever I host WB, I try to bring my peoples, but we'll definitely have you as a guest and send a review. We want to thank you for your time this morning. Big thanks to Brother Akamatota for make the link. Stand firm, brother, stand strong, and enjoy the rest of your day. Big thanks.
Yes, thanks. And I must say that we in the Caribbean have to continue to be working together, notwithstanding the challenges of division and what have you. So as we move forward, let us recognize that our collective genius is what will help us towards the solution of our problem. Thank you.
Big respect. Break time.
In Belize, we value our family.
Morning Vibes. Oh my gosh, that was refreshing, energizing, informative for me, and I hope it was for the listeners, viewers, and those streaming online. We had Caribbean economist, Brother Casala Camara from the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. I'm sharing some insight on direct foreign investment, and Sister Sandra Cowie Carlin. I'm telling you yesterday why I absolutely love the Belizean community. Like, you don't know who they listen to. You don't know what the people position sometimes, but somebody don't go and find the article that Brother Casala Camara had cited. So Sister Sandra Cowie asked him where, if it was recorded, that there may be an imminent default on the blue bond. If it was reported was the question, and if that was reported, when and where. And he had cited where did the blue bond come from, and somebody gang and find it already, you know. Don't send it to me. Says, where did the blue bond come from? Posted Friday, March 19, 2021. And it's by Benjamin Flowers, and that was from BBN. And so I just want to make sure I give another source before this segment ended. And we were looking at, Sister Sandra Cowie made the point, and it usually happens that at the point when, remember now, the Nature Conservancy, the largest or one of the largest environmental organizations in the world, made it known that for 18 months, there were things that they could not reveal to Belizeans about the agreement what they make with government of Belize. And right this so, I found it as a red flag. Because of financialization, that's the reason why they couldn't tell we. Or because of the way because of the financial space where the negotiations they happen, if them may come out, this is my understanding, but if I'm wrong, somebody could call and correct me. If them may make we know all the details of the negotiations, it may have put the attorneys, the investors in a stronger position, and then it may have benefit Belize. So there were certain things, so they say, they couldn't tell we. To this day, we still don't know who all the investors are. But we know, say, one lot you know, there's, I forgot the name of this, Asham, look it up. It started on A. The one investor we know about, well, like one umbrella organization in Europe for people, will handle people pension. So this are always about shareholders maximizing their profits, which is why they make the investment if they buy one bond, because they expect the return will be more than what they invest. And so this is not about the welfare of Belizean people or the betterment of the environment, even though all the language where they come out of the government of Belize mouth, TNC mouth, that like they're so care about Belize people and the environment. And so that's why Sister Sandra Cowie make the point that at the point when that may happen, well, as far as she know, she am one of the first people or the only person who may ring the bell, and nobody never really pick up on it. And now we pick up on it, and well, the house done out of the stable, but the knowledge still is there for we learn. And so oftentimes when it comes to money matters of this magnitude, one number I would just chew out like, man, I just try survive right there with the world. I don't got time for any complex conversation, but this is the part of we problem. We have one duty to learn. Just take one deep breath and be willing to learn. We have to take a final break in the morning. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
When you bank your way, it's amazing how much time
Up Belize Morning Vibes for this morning, Friday, January 24th, 2025. I won't be able to take any more calls. One big clarification. The point that Brother Casalo is making about Belize's debt being unsustainable and a payment being due in August was as related to the super bond, not the blue bond, from that article that he mentioned. And I should figure that out from the name of the article. Where did the super bond come from? So that was lost in translation, and so I want to be very clear on it. And again, it was a viewer paying attention with background in financing called and made that point, which I want to be very clear on. That is not something that was reported on this blue bond. It was a report on the super bond at the time. What's his name? The guy, Kowe, made the point that the debt was unsustainable. And so, yeah, I just want to make that clarification. We had an interesting range of conversations this morning. Give thanks for that. Sister Sandra Kowe called in and talking about the biblical source, a nation without vision will perish, where we are as Belizeans, as a country, as a people, political leaders being corrupt, not having a vision, and how that impacts our lives. And then Brother Colleen and Mek Fahey 2 cents known about the new currency, and he put forward that we have 6 districts, there's 6 different currency in Belize, that each district should have meaningful people participation and determine who they want upon the Belizean currency, and that I put forward that there should be women represented. And I make the point, and I want, if engaged with people and they ask me, and I keep saying, the organization that I represent, YuB Educational Foundation, our interest is African descendants racialized as Black people. So, and as I'm identifiably African descendant, and give thanks about so, as soon as I look upon the currency, that's the first thing I say. Brother Philip Golson upon his smaller denomination notes, and George Price upon the larger denomination notes. And then the news story said that Belizeans were consulted. I'd ask anybody, I think media workers should find out, what was the process for meaningful people participation? That's why we need to stop that, but we're not a democratic country. Nothing democratic about this place, and most places. That just lyrics then there. Because we know that I want a consistent drawback, that there's no awareness campaign, so that when you engage people in a meaningful people communication, participation, that then they have evidence-based, they understand the terminology, they feel as equal people when they sit down to have the reasoning. And so it really matters that we hold the state accountable and say, what evidence there? That, the which Belizeans will consult with? How long this communication gone on? When I inform people that they have this communication, like the brother said, he's a price and one was the thing they done already, they had unveiling for it. And then we had our brother, the economist from Trinidad and Tobago, the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Brother Kasala Kamara, sharing with us about direct foreign investment. And Sister Sandra Kowe called back again asking for asking some questions and putting forward some of she comments about the situation, especially when it comes to the blue bond. The frightening part about it for me is, and you hear other Belizeans say it, right? One everyday person calling one day and say, we mortgage out the waters. And not only the waters, and he's not the first person who say it. Sister Sandra Kowe said quite a bit actually about that we're in the water, all the living beings in the water, and we're under the seabed. No, you have to think about, remember when Oceana run the referendum, and the statement said, no, we not look for make them have no offshore drilling the Belize. I think about their stories there when I listened to Brother Kasala and Sister Sandra Kowe reasoning this morning about the blue bond. And so these are just things to make us think about Belize and Belizeans, because only the people want to save the people. So I want to give a big thanks for the 2 days where I co-hosted Brother Noor Mohammed. I checked the phone number at time, but we can't take no more calls right now. For the calls that we're getting, deepest condolences to the 10-year-old youth who lost both the parents. It's just an extremely sad and hurtful thing, not thing, but experience that happened. To that, from our reports, absolutely hardworking, loving family, couple. It's a loss for us as a people and especially for our youth. I want to thank the security guard. When I came in this morning, it was Lord Lewis, and now it's Shane Flowers. At XTV studio, we have Alexi Belial as the Master Chief Operator, and we have Brother Cliff Lewis. Oh my gosh, because we started the pop-off so early this morning, and if I ain't telling you, Thursday, Friday, the paper day, a mandala, $1.50. The headline reads, National Heroes featured on new currency notes. PUC denies Elon Musk's Starlink and ISP class license. Boom, duo charged with murder of couple over car deal. And Shine to face Lee Mark, Tracy to face Jose Espat. I want to make sure to get to know Amandala. We also have Amandala online, so you could go ahead and subscribe. Okay, part of the day in the world. Remember, you could always tune in to our programming. XTV Belize on YouTube, XTV Belize on Facebook. Or make I take the chance now and plug Sunday Review. As far as I can stand, every Sunday Review big. And I real talk. Every Sunday Review big, we put in big work for make it big. And so we have three sisters coming to talk about reparations. And another thing is to build the knowledge. The state has failed measurably the state has failed to raise awareness, to share knowledge, to get feedback from other people when it comes to African reparations specifically. And so UEF want always, and a Mandela newspaper and Crumb Radio and XTV want always, with great pride, push out with chest and say we did do this before it become popular. We've been to do this work. 55 years actually we did do this work, non-stop, with extreme community support. Big thanks every time. We couldn't do this without the people. This show will repeat today at 3:30. It sounds like it stopped raining at least probably the back of zinc fence. So on the stay as dry as you could. I hope the weather hold up. I know the earth needs the lee water same ways, but you know, that's how it goes sometimes. Again, thanks to everyone who joined us this morning for Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, the #1 talk show, I believe. I know it said kind of work. True. You listen to all the other talk show, we got substance. We about community participation. Yeah, I mean, it says so. I know they change the logo, show yourself, see yourself, be yourself, but that worked for me every single time. Anyways, we have to thank Brother Ako Motota, who is a Trinidadian revolutionary, who is now the co-host on Sunday Review. And for him links, you know, I see more Caribbean people for the whole of 2025 on Sunday Review. Like Brother Kamara said, it's absolutely important for us to link as people within the Caribbean. We can't make them naked political leaders. We are number one, because they vote over and over again for, and they keep the show. We said then they look out for their own interest. And then they look out for the majority of Belizean people interest or other people in the Caribbean. So till Monday, you know, health and strength will come back. We shall have Brother Most High here on Monday morning. Until then, remember say, only the people want to save the people.
Wake up, Belize. 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 Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show by people. Belize our home, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah.